This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
A missing 10-year-old found dead behind her Gas City home. The woman arrested and the charges she's facing this morning.
Plus, new cones will be adding to the frustration for your drive. Now at 6 o'clock, when these barrels will go up and how this is going to impact your commute.
And a development possibly bringing hundreds of new residents to the north side is one step closer to becoming a reality. This morning, why some neighbors say they're worried about the project. It is 6 o'clock here on your Thursday morning. Thanks for starting the day with us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is with us, and he has some pretty good news for the rest of our week. You have a good job today, Todd.
Yeah, you know, it's easy being the weatherman on days like this.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about everything that's good in the forecast. Low humidity, lots of sunshine, and comfortable temperatures. So as you walk out the door this morning, the skies are clear, and these skies should start to brighten here within the next half hour or so, even though sunrise is not officially until about 7:15 now this time of year. So the temperatures this morning with the clear skies and low humidity have cooled off. 59 in Bloomington, 52 in Peru, and I'll highlight some communities here to the north where you'll have the potential, since sunrise isn't for just over another hour, maybe to fall into the upper 40s. Kokomo at 51 right now. Logansport, you're currently at 52. There is the potential, especially to the north, where the temperatures are just slightly cooler, of a little bit of patchy fog. So be aware of that, but it's not a big problem for us here this morning. And as we expand out, you can notice the cloud deck from Hurricane Dorian there off the Atlantic. The rain is in South Carolina. The clouds trying to push back towards us, but they will not make it here into central Indiana. So it's a nice forecast for you as we get you out the door on this Thursday morning. 50s to start, near 70 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour. Eventually high temperatures in the mid-70s. More on that forecast and a look at your weekend coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Here's a live look right now at your commute down to the south in Greenwood. Good morning to you. I-65 here at the Main Street exit. You can see traffic is traveling up to speed in both directions. No issues. And take a look at our traffic now map. The good news around the metro area at this hour, no crashes to slow you down. You can see a little bit of a slowdown there on the northwest side, but we just checked it on the camera and everything there looks to be traveling up to speed. Well, we want to talk about a project that's going to be impacting drivers on the southeast side. A new closure of the interstate starts tomorrow at 9 p.m.
The construction project is expected to last just more than 2 weeks and includes both southbound and westbound lanes on I-465 on the southeast side of the city. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning. And Alyssa, you have those important details for drivers.
That's right, and people are going to want to listen up. Construction just finished up on 465. However, that break was very short-lived. Tomorrow night, this closure starts once again. It starts here on I-65, and it stretches all the way up to I-70 on 465. And during that time, drivers are going to need to use one of these alternate routes. During the 15-day project, drivers who typically use 465 to head southbound or westbound can follow I-70 and I-65 through downtown Indianapolis. INDOT's local route suggestions for drivers heading north and south include Sherman, Arlington, Shadeland, Franklin, Post, and Mithofer. Local routes for east-west drivers include Southport and Thompson Road for areas further south, Raymond, English, Brookville, Washington, 10th and 21st Street, and 38th, 30th, and 56th Street for destinations further north. And during that time, crews will be performing work on the pavement as well as bridge work to make sure the interstate is safe for drivers. You should also know that it is expected to open back up right around September 21st. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. A federal lawsuit is taking on Metro Police officer and 2 IPS officers that were involved in a physical confrontation that took place outside of Shortridge High School last week.
The attorney for the student's family released new video of the incident on Wednesday. The video shows Officer Robert Lawson making physical contact with a 17-year-old student last Thursday after warning that he would arrest the teen's adult relative. Today, we're expected to hear from that relative and the family's attorney. The federal lawsuit says the boy kept his arms at his sides and made no aggressive moves toward the officer. According to documents obtained by RTV6, the officer says he feared he would be hit because the teen's face was reportedly clenched with anger and both hands were balled into fists. No video showing the student's face has been released. Now, Officer Lawson is suspended without pay this morning. The city's legal team is not commenting on the lawsuit or new developments either. On Saturday, IMPD Chief Brian Roach released a statement saying, quote, the video shows a clear image of a closed fist punch to a face, a technique which is not taught or reasonable given the facts known to us at this time.
At 6:04, a family and an entire community is dealing with the worst possible outcome surrounding this disappearance of Skylee Carmack. The 10-year-old who disappeared on Saturday was found dead in a trash bag behind her home in Gas City. This morning, the child's own stepmother is accused of killing her. Amanda Carmack faces several charges, including murder and neglect, resulting in death. Friends, family, and strangers have been relentlessly searching for Skylee since Saturday.
Devastating. That poor baby.
It's not fair.
I don't understand how
this whole time.
How a woman can just strangle a 10-year-old little girl and watch her lifeless in her arms. It doesn't make any sense.
6 other children were removed from that home and placed with the Department of Child Services. There's no information just yet on funeral plans for Skylee.
Authorities in Howard County say more arrests could be coming after a shootout near a park in Kokomo. One woman captured the chaos on video.
We could take them to the other park. You want to take them to Highland? Get my son!
Chantel Droll and her kids were playing in Studebaker Park on Labor Day when the shooting happened near an apartment complex across the street. Thankfully, no one was injured in those shootings, but the pregnant mother says the violence was still too close for comfort.
Bullets don't have eyes, and you just never know. Like, who knows that you're going to come to the park and you're just playing like a regular day, and what if one of my kids would have got hit?
Police arrested 5 people in the case. This morning, investigators say they are still reviewing surveillance video.
At 6:06 new this morning, prosecutors in Clark County say there's another setback in the case against Joseph Overhansley. The Clark County man is accused of killing his girlfriend and then eating parts of her body back in 2014. Prosecutors say they're going to have to choose a new jury from a new county. Prosecutor Jeremy Mole says that during the jury selection this week in Hamilton County, nearly every hand went up when they asked potential jurors if they were aware of this case. It's not clear when a new trial will be held.
$100 bills being passed around central Indiana may not be the real thing. Police found 10 fake hundreds in Marion after stopping a man accused of passing counterfeit money. The fake cash impacted several businesses, and more are expected to come forward after taking their money to the bank. The suspect faces counterfeit charges.
At 6:07, a proposal to add new development to the north side of Indianapolis is moving forward, but it's not without a fight. The city zoning board approved petitions for the initial phase of a project, bringing in hundreds of apartments to the Glendale area. This is near 62nd and Keystone. The units will be built on less than 6 acres. Some homeowners are worried about so many new potential residents in such a small space.
We're happy to see a $40 million project right in our backyards. We think the success of this project is important to the future of the Glendale area and the larger community. But at the same time, it's got to be done right.
Well, the developers say they're willing to listen to any concerns, but believe the benefits of the plan outweigh any potential problems. Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Quentin Tarantino, they've all made some amazing award-winning movies.
And now students are hoping to follow in their footsteps and make their own blockbuster hits. Our Aaron Lish is live at J. Everett Light Career Center this morning. Aaron, you're going to tell us all about the animation and film production program they have there.
Yeah, you know, from the scripts to the movies, these kids are learning all about it. You know, let's all go to the lobby, and it's time to get the snack because these kids are making amazing films here. They even have these editing bays where they can put all of that hard work together here. It's a 2-year program. They write, they do the filming and all the editing, and at the end of the year, they actually create short films that they show to the entire school. They also learn basic animations, and they have 6 different programs in Adobe Sweeps to like Photoshop and Premiere. They also just bought a Red digital camera. Guys, that is top of the line. And with combining that high quality cameras and editing system, students and instructors say they are getting the best tools to prepare for a career in the film and animation industry.
When a kid is applying for a job or moving on to college, they need to know every little facet of media that they possibly can.
I also get access to programs that I would have not been able to have if I hadn't taken this program, and it just gets me ready for college and what I want to do.
And combining all 43 students in last year's program, they saved more than $34,000 in tuition for college credits. And this provides them an option to become cinematographers, video editors, producers, animators, and the list goes on. And this program allows them to get creative. And they get this inspiration in all of these different rooms, seeing the success of, for instance, the Marvel comic series. You're seeing all those movies coming out right now. And this is an amazing opportunity for them. And we're going to actually hear from those students in the next half hour and what they think about being part of the animation and film production here at J. Everett Light Career Center. But for now, back to you in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. Hurricane Dorian is gaining strength overnight, the storm intensifying into a major Category 3 hurricane. Now, hurricane warnings stretch from the Savannah River in Georgia all the way to Virginia. Officials say while Dorian will not have the same strength as it did over the Bahamas, they're not taking any chances. Authorities expect Dorian will bring record storm surge to parts of South Carolina and say people need to prepare now.
You still have a little bit of time to get ready to go, but that time is drawing near.
Water and inundation is probably the #1 cause of death in situations like this.
New images from the Bahamas show Dorian's wrath. Overnight, the death toll rising to at least 20. Officials say some islands were almost wiped away after the storm parked overhead for 2 days straight. Here at home at 6:10, Todd's going to take a look at our humidity scale. And Todd, I bet it's going to be awfully low.
Yeah, you're going to have to go searching for some humidity here throughout the day today, and you're going to have to look pretty hard because there is not going to be much out there. We're in the very comfortable range here this morning and throughout the afternoon, so that's the good news. Yesterday, the humidity was in the process of declining throughout the morning hours, and then it was terrific in the afternoon. Well, today it's terrific from start to finish. In fact, this kind of forecast I like as we look at your Thursday planner. Nothing but sunshine from start to finish here across the board. The winds will be light as well. You notice the temperature trend hour by hour for you will be near 70 degrees by the noon hour, mid-70s for your high later on this afternoon. Then as soon as the sun sets, it'll start to cool off very, very quickly. So if you're thinking about getting your car washed, well, it's a pretty good stretch of weather. We'll give you the green light for today. Friday and Saturday will be completely dry. There are a few storms that could sneak in here on Sunday. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thanks. 6 Dayton police officers receiving honors for their actions during last month's mass shooting. This morning, why officials say their quick response prevented even more people from being shot.
Plus, these 2 firefighters are lucky to have survived this scary crash. Up next, what officials say led to the terrifying scene.
And it is 6:12 here on your Thursday. We're keeping a close eye on traffic. Here's a live look to our northeast, I-465 and I-69 here near Binford Boulevard. You can see traffic is picking up this morning, traveling smoothly. No crashes around the metro area at this time. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Prices at Ross. Yes for less.
It has been 1 month since 9 people were killed in a mass shooting in Dayton, Ohio. And last night during the city commission meeting, 6 police officers were honored for their roles in stopping the shooting suspect before he entered a bar full of people. Officials say 5 patrol officers and 1 sergeant halted the gunman's attack in less than 30 seconds.
Well, family wealth was apparently a factor in the University of Southern California's admission process. Admissions emails reveal that USC officials discussed how much wealthy parents could donate when their children applied. A father facing charges in that college admissions scandal filed the emails in court to show that he was following established admissions practices at USC. USC spokesperson says the school does not hide the fact that officials are allowed to flag certain applicants by special attention for the admissions office.
United Airlines says it will let passengers avoid flying on Boeing 737 MAX jets once it starts using those troubled planes again. The planes have been under intense scrutiny and grounded since March following 2 crashes that killed hundreds of people. United says it's too soon to know how customers will react after the 737 MAX returns to service. However, passengers afraid to fly on the plane will be able to rebook flights on a different aircraft for free. Other airlines are considering similar policies. Boeing hopes to have the plane cleared to fly again by early next month.
At 6:16, a pair of firefighters in Oklahoma are lucky to walk away from this accident here. Dash cam video showing 2 firefighters hit by a hydrant hydroplaning U-Haul, and it's really hard to watch, but it comes with an important message to drivers. The men were standing near a road in Oklahoma when an SUV pulling a trailer lost control and careened into them. Amazingly, the firefighters only suffered from bruises from this incident. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol shared this video on Facebook along with a message saying, slow down when the roads are slick and you see those flashing lights. Not only a message out there in Oklahoma, but a message we can all take with us as we go out on the roads.
Right.
Thankfully, they're okay.
We will see slick roads like that before we know it now that we're into September. So, yeah, a great reminder there.
Yeah.
Heart-stopping video. Wow.
Yeah. And the good news today in the forecast, though, we are dry, Todd.
Yeah, no threat of slick roads here this morning, or wet roads for that matter, because we have nothing but sunshine in the forecast for you throughout the day today. And temperatures, once again, will be just slightly below normal. Our forecast high is 77. The average high is 82 degrees. But with the low humidity and the mostly sunny skies, I don't think anybody will be complaining later on this afternoon. In fact, I encourage you to get out. It should be absolutely beautiful. Skies just now starting to brighten a little bit. You can see that as you look from downtown to the north on the RTV6 Weather Now camera here, and the temperature sits at 57 degrees. The dew point's in the low 50s. That's a very, very comfortable number. And we just have a light wind out of the north at 6 miles per hour. And it's that north wind that is keeping temperatures from warming up into the 80s, but it's also keeping the humidity down. So that's the trade-off that we are dealing with. 51 right now in Crawfordsville. It's 53 in Tipton, 52 up in Peru. These temperatures may go down another degree or two here this morning before they start to climb pretty quickly once the sun comes up, because we will have plenty of sunshine in the forecast. There's some thin clouds up towards the Chicago and northwest Indiana area. This cloud cover that you see here sneaking backwards, working its way from east to west, that is the clouds from Dorian. The rain is now pounding the Carolina coastline from North Carolina and Wilmington to Charleston, South Carolina, even down towards Savannah, Georgia. Here is the eye of the storm, obviously, just slowly moving to the north, about 8 miles per hour towards Charleston with sustained winds of 115 miles per hour. The storm should start to take a bend here throughout the day and then probably make landfall, the center of that storm, near Wilmington, North Carolina, and that's where we probably potentially have the most wind damage. A lot of coastal flooding, though, and heavy amounts of rainfall there in the Carolinas. As far as our weather, here's the sunshine throughout the day today. Around 70 degrees by the noon hour, with high temperatures later on this afternoon getting into that mid to upper 70-degree range. So it's just beautiful. And then this evening, we're in great shape as well. Temperatures will fall back down into the 60s once the sun sets, so we will cool off rather quickly. And then tomorrow morning, 50s across the area. So you wake to temperatures tomorrow, maybe a couple degrees warmer than this morning, but it's still a little on the cool side. And then as we work our way into tomorrow's forecast, a little more in the way of cloud cover. So instead of completely sunny like today, we'll call it partly cloudy with a high temperature of 77. Then looking ahead to the weekend, got the checkered flag back as the Brickyard is in town. 76 degrees on Saturday, no issues there with just increasing clouds. Sunday, there could be a spot storm, but it's only about a 20% chance of seeing that storm. So all in all the activities this weekend should be in decent shape. More summer-like warmth, though, returns. We head into next week. You see those temperatures sneaking back into the upper 80s. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Here's a live look now at traffic, I-65 and 30th Street on the north side of town. You see all those orange barrels out there. This is an ongoing construction area, but it looks like right now everything's moving along just fine northbound and southbound, so it's not slowing you down at this early hour. Let's take a look, though, at our traffic now map. I am monitoring one new crash for you. Take a look over here in the Beech Grove area. The left lane is blocked right now for this crash cleanup. Westbound I-465. This is at Emerson Avenue, so we'll want to continue to monitor this and let you know if there are any delays, but it looks like right now you should be able to get by that area just fine. Cell phone distractions, a real issue in schools, and it's not just friends texting each other. Parents are actually trying to contact their kids during the school hours. Well, some schools are putting more restrictive phone policies in place, even locking them up. A parenting coach we talked to thinks that that's a good idea no matter the situation.
A real emergency, the fact is that cell phones will probably be more distracting than helpful. So yeah, I think it's a wise idea for schools to restrict personal technology devices during the school day.
Research has found that several benefits to cell phones in class include things like researching material, medical reasons, or also supporting students with special needs.
A Florida man wanting to help those in the Bahamas impacted by Dorian does so in a big way. His heartwarming donation ahead in our Trending 6.
Through 8, tickets at IMS.com.
Before you head out the door, it's time for the Trending 6.
These are some of the stories that everyone is sharing online today that you'll want to know about. Well, maternity leave is ending for the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle. She and Prince Harry welcomed baby Archie back on May 6th. People magazine says the first official work for the Duchess will take place Thursday, September 12th. She'll be launching a collection of women's work clothes that she designed with a friend. Although this will be the first work appearance for the Duchess, she's been out in public since Archie's birth.
A 5-month maternity leave? Not too shabby.
Jealous, yeah.
Former NBA player Marshall Plumlee graduated from Army Ranger School in Fort Benning, Georgia last week. He is now Second Lieutenant Plumlee. At 7 feet tall, he towered over other uniformed graduates at the ceremony. Plumlee played for the New York Knicks. He also played for Duke University in 2015, the year the school won its 5th NCAA championship.
A black bear cub waltzed right into a hotel bathroom and really wanted to stay put. Guests and hotel staff in Montana saw the young bear relaxing in the women's restroom countertop at Bucks T4 Lodge in Big Sky. The lodge is pretty close to Yellowstone National Park, so those bear encounters aren't that rare. Well, officials tranquilized the bear and released it after checking its vitals and confirming it was healthy.
Police in Rhode Island say a New Jersey man took off his shoes before breaking into Taylor Swift's home. 26-year-old Richard McEwen broke a glass door to enter the home. Police say he then took off his shoes, and he told them it was the polite thing to do. Police say they've dealt with him a number of times, and they're working with his family about getting a mental health evaluation.
Well, Porsche just unveiled its first fully electric car, and it is fast. The Taycan will be available in 2 turbo versions. Of course, that's just the name signifying the performance because electric vehicles don't use actual turbochargers. The car can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.6 seconds. It will retail for about $185,000. Porsche says the Taycan can go about 280 miles on a charge.
A Florida farmer really wanted to help the victims of Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas, so he went to the store and bought 100 generators to be shipped to Abaco. I'm not sure how to pronounce Abaco in Grand Bahama. Abaco, thank you, Todd. In Grand Bahama, the grand total nearly $50,000. The man who snapped these pictures says he approached the man to thank him for his generous act. The man says he does not want any attention and would rather people focus on helping those in the hardest hit areas of the Bahamas.
Wow, that's so generous.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. And once again, a reminder to people, if you do want to donate and help people out in their recovery down there, just to make sure you're donating to a legitimate
do a little
nonprofit.
research first.
Yeah, a lot of scammers out there when these unfortunate things happen. So you're exactly right. All right, here in Central Indiana this morning, as you walk out the door, we're in great shape. We have no real issues this morning. There could be just some minor patchy fog in northern locations, and that is just about it. A little on the cool side this morning. We're in the 50s. We'll be near 70 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour with mostly sunny skies. And then we just keep the sunshine in the forecast all day long. It's really a great Thursday for us with high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. The time now is 6:27. Stay with us. We'll be back here on Good Morning Indiana in just a few minutes.
Elder Law help you get your ducks in a row.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It's back this weekend. Now at 6:30, we dig into yet another round of construction coming to a major interstate that could impact your drive.
And she was reported missing, then found dead. Now the stepmom of a 10-year-old girl charged with her murder.
How rapid is the new city's rapid transit system? Well, just ahead, we put the red line to the clock to see if its promise it made to you to move rapidly across the city pans out. Time right now, 6:30 here. We finally made it to Thursday. Thanks for waking up with us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick, meteorologist Todd Clausen here with us. And Todd, I was kind of cold when I stepped outside today.
Yeah, you get to the time of the year where we get these fall-like temperatures, but you're right. You're still thinking, all right, it's supposed to be warm this time of year.
Yeah, well, and it was so humid yesterday morning.
Yeah, you drop that humidity, and it's a totally different feel out there, and the humidity remains low throughout the entire day today, so that is good news. The sky's just now starting to brighten here as you look to the right-hand corner of your screen, and you can see that the skies are mainly clear. It's going to be a beautiful sunrise and a beautiful day for us. And look at that, Kokomo down another degree to 50. We could have even some upper 40s there in northern locations, 57 in Martinsville. And with the cooler temperatures to the north, there's just a little bit of patchy fog that's starting to settle in to areas near Fort Wayne back into portions of Kokomo. So if you're seeing this fog, just know it's going to burn off pretty quickly once the sun comes up, which is starting to happen. Official sunrise, though, not for another 45 minutes or so across the area. So clear skies here. There's some clouds from Dorian that are trying to back into our forecast. They will not make it. We have a great day for you throughout the morning hours. Our temperatures will climb from the cool start where we are in the 50s right now up to near 70 degrees with mostly sunny skies. We'll talk about the rest of your forecast for today and look ahead to the weekend as well, coming up in just a few minutes. But right now, it's time for a look at the roadways with Lauren.
Todd, thank you so much. Here's a look right now at our traffic now map. We do have this crash cleanup right here in the left lane of westbound I-465 and Emerson Avenue, the Beech Grove area. Right now, just one left lane is blocked for that cleanup, and we can tell you it is causing just a few delays, but nothing too crazy for your morning commute there on the southeast side. Here's a look right now in the downtown area at I-65 and I-70 at the north split. Traffic in this area, it looks to be moving along up to speed. No problems here to slow you down. Well, it may seem like I-465 on the southeast side just opened back up, and it did. Crews finished road work there at the end of August, but now another section of interstate is closing for maintenance.
This time on the southeast side of the city, and drivers who depend on the highway will need to find some different ways to get around. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning, and Alyssa, you have details on all those other routes that people can take.
That's right. So this closure starts late tomorrow night, right around 9 p.m. And it starts here on I-65 and it stretches all the way up to I-70. So that's a pretty wide stretch of road. During that time, people are going to have to find alternate routes to get around this construction project.
During the 15-day project, drivers who typically use 465 to head southbound or westbound can follow I-70 and I-65 through downtown Indianapolis. INDOT's local route suggestions for drivers heading north and south include Sherman, Arlington, Shadeland, Franklin, Post, and Midhofer. Local routes for east-west drivers include Southport and Thompson Road for areas further south, Raymond, English, Brookville, Washington, 10th and 21st Street, and 38th, 30th, and 56th Street for destinations further north.
And during the closure, crews will be working on maintenance on the roadways to make sure that they're safe for drivers as they hit the interstate. The closure is expected to reopen, the road is expected to reopen on September 21st. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. A community gathered together to heal after the search for a missing 10-year-old girl took a devastating turn. Last night, hundreds mourned the death of young Skylee Carmack. Investigators found her body yesterday hidden inside a trash bag in a shed behind the family's home. Skylee has been missing since Saturday afternoon, and now her stepmom is accused of killing her. The alleged crime hits close to home for one Gas City resident. Sonia Federhoff's nephew was killed by his stepfather 19 years ago.
Our family knows. Our family's been emotional all day about it. It's hitting home, and I know how the family's feeling. I know how the father's feeling. You know, my brother went through the same thing. It's hard. And to see this, I think, it'll ease a little bit of pain.
The stepmother, Amanda Carmack, is being held on preliminary charges of murder, neglect, strangulation, and domestic battery.
Later today, we expect to hear from an attorney on behalf of a family that's suing after an IMPD officer hit a student. On Wednesday, the attorney released new video of the incident outside Shortridge High School. Officer Robert Lawson made physical contact with the 17-year-old student last Thursday after a warning about a possible arrest of the teen's adult relative. That relative is also expected to speak today. According to the federal lawsuit, the boy kept his arms at his side and made no aggressive moves toward the officer. Documents obtained by RTV6 show the officer says he feared he would be hit because he claimed the teen's face was clenched with anger and both hands were balled into fists. face. No video has been released showing the student's face. Now, right now, Officer Lawson is suspended without pay. The city's legal department is not commenting on the lawsuit or new developments. So far, the only comment from IMPD was made by Chief Brian Roach this past Saturday. He says, quote, "The video shows a clear image of the closed fist punch to the face, a technique which is not taught or reasonable given the facts known to us at this time."
At 6:36, results from the state's new standardized test for students are in, and as some expected, they are a bit low. iLearn results were made public on Wednesday, and the number of students showing proficiency in core subjects dropped dramatically from the scores of the final I-STEP exam from last year. The State Department of Education had warned of this result, saying the iLearn exam is more difficult, and as RTV6 has reported, schools will probably not be penalized for the low scores because of this transition period from the I-STEP.
We know there is frustration with the iLearn for this year. Although those implementation results were expected, they can be very, very difficult. We are hopeful that our General Assembly will take a hard look at our state accountability system and address some of those concerns, so a year from now we're not having the same conversation.
Governor Holcomb and Republican leaders in the legislature have already called for a one-year delay in tying school grades and teacher evaluations to iLearn. The Indiana State Teachers Association has routinely criticized using test scores that way. They say it discourages teachers from remaining in the profession. Well, it may be a little early in the morning to grab some popcorn, but you may want to because it is time to enjoy the movies.
Some high school students are busy learning how they can become the next big thing in Hollywood. Our Aaron Lish joins us live from the J. Everett Light and Career Center and has a pretty impressive animation and film production program to tell us about. Hey, Aaron.
Good morning. So they certainly have all the great equipment here, like this camera. They also have a green screen over there to make all of these great ideas come to life.
Animation and film. Students are making their portfolios for the future.
Yeah, you can be creative with it.
They learn 6 programs through Adobe Suites, get creative through cinematography, and build their own animations while getting dual credits.
When a kid is applying for a job or moving on to college, they need to know every little facet of media that they possibly can.
Lori and Donovan now has these tools on her resume while creating masterpieces like this.
This watch has the power to end the whole universe.
I would also get access to programs that I would have not been able to have if I hadn't taken this program, and it just gets me ready for college and what I want to do.
They use high-quality cameras to create their short films, which is helping push some to become filmmakers.
Because I just thought it would be like a really great learning opportunity to learn about filmmaking, and it ended up being like so much more. And it's like, I really found out that's like what I want to do in life.
They spent 2 years in the program, and Donovan says every minute is worth her time to leave with successful products and a future.
It's very tedious. Animation takes a lot of time to do, but it's worth it in the end, I think.
Trying to stop it.
So you can see all of these great pieces of work that these students have done here. And this really opens the door up for those students who want to be producers, directors, animators. So there's a lot of options in this industry. And certainly this gives them a leg up to all those other students because they're still only in high school. We're going to have a little bit more from them. But for now, back to you in the studio.
All right, Aaron, pretty cool story there. Time right now, 6:39. And it's only been in operation for 4 days now, but the Red Line has already caught the interest of thousands of Hoosiers thanks to its promise for rapid service. RTV6 put the Red Line to the test, keeping time to see how long it takes the bus to travel from downtown to Broad Ripple during rush hour. So how rapid is rapid transit? Well, passengers heading home last night traveled from the state capitol to Broad Ripple Avenue in 35 minutes. After sampling the service, riders we talked to say the Red Line is the future.
I think that this is a great asset for the city. I think it'll make traveling back and forth a lot easier, a lot more efficient.
It's going to allow people to go to so many more parts of the city so much quicker, and people are going to say, I want to live close to the Red Line. I want to live close to Indigo, and we're going to be able to go to work for cheap. We're going to be able to go to work much quicker and more efficiently.
So as you saw there, it took those two passengers 35 minutes to get from Capitol Avenue to Broad Ripple Avenue. It took the bus a total of 44 minutes to travel from the downtown transit center to 66th Street, where it completed that portion of the Red Line. All right, as you are heading outside today, maybe to catch the bus or take the dog on a walk, Todd, what can we expect?
Hey, you have to walk the dog first before you head off to work or the kids head off to school. You can send them out with your favorite four-legged friend. And our featured dog of the day today is New. He's just chilling out there in front of the TV, all ready to go out there for his walk. And thanks to Paul for sending New in. As far as your forecast goes for the day today, nothing but green paws here from start to finish. A little on the cool side this morning with a temperature right around 55 degrees. We should end up right around 74 degrees as we get into the afternoon hours. So great weather to walk your dog. And if you'd like to have your dog featured, you can send the pictures to my Facebook page, Todd Clausen RTV6. Make sure you include the name with your friend. I've gotten a lot of dogs in my inbox with no names, and so we need to get that out there as well. So keep that in mind. It's a dry forecast until at least Sunday, when we bring in a 20% chance of some isolated storms. We'll talk about the impact for that for the Brickyard 400 coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. It was supposed to be a diplomatic trip, but the focus soon became the place where Mike Pence slept. Just ahead, why some people think this is a big deal and why the story from the VP kept changing.
And Thursday is the day we get in the time machine. And since the big NASCAR race is happening this weekend, we'll go back to the very first one and how some Hoosiers cheered on their hometown hero.
Furniture and mattress store, Ashley Home Store.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. We do have our live drive vehicle out monitoring that crash we told you about on I-465, the westbound left lane there in Shoulder near Beech Grove, the Emerson Avenue exit. Now, what we're being told is there's some indications that the driver was injured, but the driver no longer at the crash scene. So that's something that crews there are working with right now to figure out what happened here. And of course, we're going to continue to monitor traffic, but just expect some slowdowns as you head past that scene.
New this morning, an assistant swimming coach at Indiana University has been charged with threatening a former Hoosier swimmer who is now a swim coach in Bloomington. Court records show Mike Westfall faces a misdemeanor charge of intimidation. The Indiana Daily Student reports that Westfall was accused of threatening the man during a meeting over a possible merger of two swim clubs. IU Athletics says it is aware of the charges but has taken no action against Westfall so far. Indiana's former governor has mostly tried to stay under the radar as vice president, positioning himself as a loyal backer of President Trump's policies.
But this week, Mike Pence was put in an uncomfortable spotlight. Ray Steele tells us it had to do where he was sleeping during an overseas trip.
The vice president's problems began in Doonbeg, a small Irish village that just happens to have a golf resort owned by President Trump. That meant for Pence's meetings with Ireland's leaders, Air Force Two had to fly 181 miles to Ireland's capital in Dublin, then back to the Doonbeg resort multiple times over a 2-day period, all at taxpayer expense. It also meant that your tax money would essentially be going directly to the president's company via the Trump resort. The chief of staff for the former Indiana governor, Mark Short, told reporters that President Trump himself had suggested Pence stay there. The White House said that wasn't true, and that caused Short to change his story, blaming misreporting from news organizations, even though Short was on the record. Later, Pence himself said the Trump resort was chosen because the Secret Service was familiar with it, due to a previous visit by the president.
To accommodate the unique footprint that comes with our security detail and other personnel made it logical.
But a story in Politico featured several former Secret Service agents debunking that argument. They say the Secret Service is ready to go anywhere, anytime. That's when the vice president said his stay was motivated by family. His great-grandmother is from Doonbeg, and he says a distant cousin owns a pub there. For now, this news will probably fade. But down the road is another story. The House Judiciary Committee is planning to investigate whether Trump is driving government business to his personal businesses. And that probably means we haven't heard the last of Mike Pence's Irish visit and the evolving reasons for where he stayed. Working for you, Ray Steele, RTV6.
At 6:47, Hurricane Dorian continues to lash out on the east coast of the U.S. with rain, and the Coast Guard and other agencies continue to provide rescue and recovery operations in the Bahamas. So far, at least 20 deaths have been reported as Dorian was still a Category 5 storm when it devastated the islands. That number is expected to rise. One death was also reported in North Carolina. Authorities say an 85-year-old man fell from a ladder while trying to prepare his home for the storm. And we have been watching Dorian for what feels like about a week now, Todd, and it has just kind of been teasing everyone on the southeast coast of the U.S.
Yeah, it has been over a week that we've been tracking this, first moving through the Puerto Rico area and also into the British and U.S. Virgin Islands, and then it was the Bahamas, then it was the Florida coast, and then it made finally its turn to the north, and now it's threatening Charleston. You notice the eye of the storm continuing to lift to the north at only about 7 miles per hour, sustained winds 115 miles per hour, and that makes it a Category 3 storm. And already they are getting some very, very heavy rain along the Carolina coastline. As far as where this storm is going next, it's going to come very close to Charleston, and then it's going to make the turn here, and it's going to head towards Wilmington, North Carolina, possibly landfall right around there, just kind of grazing the coast, and then through the Outer Banks and eventually out to sea. So eventually, I think by the time we get to the weekend, we're done talking about Dorian, but until then, I do expect them to have lots of coastal flooding, some very heavy rainfall. We're talking maybe 10 to 15 inches of rain right along the coast, and then they'll have to deal with those strong winds as well. The strongest winds, though, should stay just offshore. Closer to home, how beautiful is this sunrise? Take a look as you look from downtown to the north. Hardly a cloud in the sky, and there's just a lot of low humidity around there, so that's why we don't have any of that haze around. You notice that dew point's only at 53 degrees, and so it's very, very comfortable this morning. There is a little bit of patchy fog off in the distance in northern locations, but that should start to burn off very, very quickly here now this morning. Temperatures in the 50s anywhere you go, getting very close to the 40s, though, over in the Crawfordsville area. But no matter where you start here this morning, you're ending up in the mid to upper 70s across the area with mostly sunny skies, low humidity, and light winds. Really just a terrific Thursday for us throughout the entire day with high temperatures. That should top off right around 75 to right around 77 degrees with those clear skies. Then this evening, we said temperatures fall back down into the 60s. Sunset there, getting closer and closer to 8 o'clock. Now, as we head into the weekend, temperatures are going to start off in the 50s both days, and then eventually we'll see temperatures warm up into the 70s. So it's going to be kind of a cooler start to the weekend, and also as we head into tomorrow morning with temperatures in the 50s. So we started a little bit of a trend. Tomorrow we're up to 77 with mostly cloudy skies in the afternoon, and as we head into the evening hours for Friday high school football games, no threat of any rainfall, just mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 70s for the weekend. Saturday, a big concert at the track, also the Penrod Art Fair, also college football games just fine. Sunday, a little chance of some storms popping up in the afternoon and evening hours, but it's only about a 20% chance. And then finally, some warmer temperatures head back our way by the end of the week.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We're still monitoring that crash cleanup over on the southeast side near Beech Grove, I-465, the westbound left lane and shoulder there near Emerson Avenue. So you can see the traffic is pretty busy heading past that scene. We know the driver left the scene, no longer at the crash scene, so we'll continue to keep you updated as we learn more. With this year's Brickyard 400 just around the corner, we thought it would make a good topic for this week's Throwback Thursday.
It may be hard to imagine now, but the arrival of NASCAR at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway 25 years ago captivated racing fans all over the world. It may have gotten the most attention about 20 miles northwest of the track in the town of Pittsboro. That's where a young Jeff Gordon first learned to race, and it's where a crowd at Smitty's Pub cheered Gordon to victory at that first Brickyard event.
Jeff ran away with it. He kicked some butt. Pittsboro is on the map now. We're living it. Aren't we loving it? Huh? We loving it? Hello!
After his win. The Smitty's Pub crowd serenaded Gordon with happy birthday. That Brickyard win had come just 2 days after his 23rd birthday.
So young.
The race also featured the largest crowd in NASCAR history with an estimated 350,000 people on hand.
I love that story. They're so excited there in that pub. You can watch more of this story here at theindychannel.com/history. That's where you can also find all of our other Throwback Thursday stories.
Coming up, Britain might be in turmoil right now, but the person a lot of people can't stop watching right now is the man trying to keep order. We'll show you why coming up.
Working for you.
He didn't pitch well, but Michael Lorenzen of the Reds ended up making history anyway. Lorenzen gave up a home run to Jay Bruce of the Phillies after coming into last night's game. That tied the game at 5, but Lorenzen would stay in the game, and in the bottom of the 8th, he would hit a 2-run homer of his own to extend the Reds' lead to 8-5. Lorenzen has been one of baseball's best hitting pitchers during his career, and in the 9th inning, when he was replaced on the mound, the Reds kept him in the game in center field, just in case they needed him to go back and pitch again. They didn't, and the Reds won the game. Lorenzen is only the 2nd player in Major League history to pitch, play a position in the field, and hit a home run in the same game. And do you know who the other one is, Lauren? Babe Ruth.
Well, there you go.
The debate over the UK leaving the European Union has been serious this week, but there have been some moments of levity for those of us watching from the outside.
Yeah, for example, during a debate this week, one of the stars has again been the Speaker of the House of Commons, John Bercow. The Speaker is in charge of enforcing the decorum in the chamber, which she does with flair.
I say to the Chancellor of the Duchy that when he turns up at our children's school as a parent, he's a very well-behaved fellow. Spare us the theatrics. Behave yourself. Be a good boy, young man. Be a good boy.
British politics are so exciting. Wow. And his accent, it just adds to the whole flair. I love it.
Wow, that is not a job I would want to have.
No.
Right.
But a job I would want to have today is Todd's. He has a good job today on days like today.
Yeah, and it's a pretty easy job, to be honest with you, today, because there's not a whole lot going on. We'll enjoy sunshine, we'll enjoy low humidity, and we'll enjoy comfortable temperatures starting off in the 50s and near 70 by the noon hour, then mid-70s this afternoon as we turn to partly cloudy. Tomorrow, a little more in the way of cloud cover. Could be a little round of patchy drizzle tomorrow morning, but then as we get into Saturday, mostly sunny, a spot storm or two possible on Sunday with temperatures in the 70s, and then eventually by the middle of next week, a little bit warmer. So if you're still a fan of the summer-like temperatures, we have some of that in there for you, and a little bit of the cooler fall-like temperatures. And I noticed the Apple store, not the one where you buy electronics, is opened at Conner Prairie.
It did.
So you know fall is coming.
The food store. All right, Todd, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be back in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and traffic.
Have a great day.